I'm still just...
Recording is on.
Okay. Hello, everybody. This is a game on the Gauntlet calendar, which is called Trophy, the Giant's Carcass. Carcass? Oh, God, I'm mispronouncing it again. Sorry. Yes. We are playing this on the Gauntlet calendar. The Gauntlet is an online community that needs to play games online worldwide, which maybe explain my confusion about the pronunciation, because it's not my native language, and while I know words, I sometimes have trouble finding out how to say them, and then everybody's too polite to tell me. Yes, sorry about that. I'm nervous. I'm today joined by 3 awesome players, 2 of which I have had the joy of playing with before, and 1 which I haven't, but who is probably totally great. Also, I meant to say that if you are curious about the Gauntlet and the games we organize, please go to gauntlet-rpg.com, where you will find a link to the calendar and also some links to our fantastic zine, the Codex, and some really good podcasts, if that's your thing. And now we will start by having everybody introduce themselves. My name is Sabine. I'm from Germany, and I will be running this game. And let's, my pronoun, you can use any pronoun you like for me. And I would like to continue with Alan, please.
Hello, my name's Alan, pronouns he, him. Would you like me to introduce the character as well, Sabine?
Yeah,
okay.
Please go ahead.
Tonight I'm playing the character Basso, also he, him. Basso's current occupation is a butcher. He is skilled in killing, calming, and animals. But his background is that he's a worn-out gladiator driven to gain power to make my rival regret their victory. And that is Basso.
Thank you. Very nice. Let's continue with you, Jim.
Hey, my name is Jim Crocker. Folks who know me from outside the Gauntlet, I guess I should start by saying I've been on the Gauntlet going on 2 years now. I'm headed towards my second Gauntlet Con here. So I've run a whole bunch of games. I'm one of the kind of co-creators of the Gauntlet Comics shared comic book universe that we're playing a lot on the Gauntlet. And I run a bunch of games. I play in a bunch of games. I played with Sabine a bunch, so I'm really thrilled to be in this game that she is running. I'm really looking forward to it. Folks that know me from outside the Gauntlet probably know me because I have been selling games for many, many years at conventions and some game stores that I used to own. But these days you can find me at cons all up and down the East Coast and the Midwest. If you want to find me online, I'm at Jim Likes Games on Twitter, and I've got a website, jimlikesgames.com, where I sell some of those same games that I do at cons. I blog about games, and I have a podcast called Just Played, where I do like 15-minute or so recaps of games I've played, where I talk about what happened in the games and things I learned about game design and running games and stuff like that. And hopefully this will be one of them that I can talk about at a later date. So looking forward to that too.
Jim, would you care to introduce your character as well, please?
Oh, my character. Sorry. Yes. Yeah. Sorry. I split up the social and the character stuff. So my character is, I am Orlin. These days, I am a prostitute. I am skilled in seduction, haggling, and body language. Not just interpreting the body language of others, but in getting my body to say things to people without necessarily speaking out loud to them. And I have fallen into this career, which is not the one I would have chosen for myself, because I'm a hoarse-voiced singer. I used to sing for my supper, but something happened. Well, I suppose we'll probably figure out what that is. I'm skilled in drinking. So actually, maybe that may tell us a little bit about what happened to that beautiful songbird-like voice that I used to have, that I am now forced to only sing, at night quietly to myself in between clients. So hopefully I'll be able to escape the dreary life ahead of me. My prospects are not good. I do not get better looking with each day, but quite the opposite. And so, I'm currently engaged in a vocation that does not have very good prospects for a long-term career. So I'm hoping that my journey into the forest will give me the means perhaps to restore my voice, perhaps to simply give me riches that I never have to worry about this again. But regardless, it is better, than another day standing in the corner at the red light district, hoping that a wealthy widow will, decide she wants to spend some time and throw a few coins my way.
And if I interpret your character picture correctly, you are a male prostitute.
I am using he, him. That is correct. But I will not turn down clients. So.
Okay. That's fine. Thank you. Jesse. Finish.
Hi, I'm Jesse.
you.
I've been playing with the Gauntlet for close to 2 years now, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. I'm not sure. I don't often get to play with some of our Euro time zone friends, so I'm very excited for the opportunity. Playing with a few of you for the first time. I played with Jim a bunch of times in the past. And yeah, so I'm playing Sybil. My pronouns are he, him. I am playing Sybil, whose pronouns are she, her. She is an undertaker, skilled in masking, religion, and symbols, the skills of tending the dead, and preparing them for the next step in their journey. But she comes from a background, she's a limping dancer. Sybil did not feel that her limp should prevent her from performing. She felt that there was a beauty to her movement that was perhaps absent from the more able-bodied. But a critic wrote a scathing review of her first show after her injury that drove her from the stage and sort of forced her back into her family's business, where she used her performance skills to comfort the mourning and to help the dead. But she burns over that humiliation of that review, and longs for the opportunity to show that critic how beautiful her dancing continues to be.
Very good. Thank you all. Before we start playing, I would review our safety tools. I would like to go with lines and veils, and I'm afraid there is no tab for these, but we can quickly add it, I think. Yes. I would have as a line things like sexual violence and coercion. I don't like these. I've never met anybody who liked these in their games, so but I'll still write it down. If there's anything you would like to have as a line or as a veil, and I'll explain that in a second. Lines are things we don't want to have in our game, don't want to have mentioned or as a content on our table. And veils are things that can be there in the fiction, but will be blanked over or glossed over, just happening in the background, and will cut away from the scene when that happens. That's a veil. So is there anything you would like to line and veil, Alan?
I was just about to agree with Jim's comment in the comments. I was going to say it would save me from saying what I always say, which is because I'm old and British, we have to veil sex.
Mm-hmm. That's fine, I think. This is not, oh God, how do you write this? Consensual sex, okay. And I'm reading the, okay. Jim, anything else? Domestic animal suffering, I read in the comments. As a veil? Okay.
Yeah, let me be explicit about that. Like bugs, monsters, all that kind of nasty stuff we're going to run into in the forest is fine. Evidence that, cattle have been mutilated or something like that, like coming across that as long as we just don't get into excessive detail, or we're going to be expected to have to do any kind of significant violence to, animals that we would normally have around the house ourselves, then that's fine.
Okay, cool.
I think my butcher is very happy to veil any professional activity.
Oh shoot, that's right. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'm not trying to step on your toes with that, Alan. Just as long as we don't have it just out in the open with loving descriptions of what we're doing, then I'll be fine.
Cool. And Jesse, how about you?
All right, this is like an oddly specific one, but I think in trophy it's kind of necessary. And that is like the combination of like plant and fungal life, disrupting autonomy for mind control purposes. It's like really specific, but it's something that just, do you know what I mean? Like I don't even like to talk about it, but like it just creeps the hell out of me.
Okay.
Mushroom zombies. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Like plenty. It's the kind of thing that can come up, and sometimes it's good scary, and sometimes I can't handle it, and today I can't handle it. So I'd like that to be a line. If that's okay.
Okay. So yeah, that's okay. No fungal
like,
or plant mind control stuff.
Thank you.
Or okay. Just I don't foresee that actually.
I know in some of the incursions, it's like explicitly a part of what's going on, and I would, if I were playing that, I wouldn't tell you no. But if it doesn't have to be there, I'd prefer to.
It doesn't really have to be there because this incursion is not going to go into a forest. It is. I think I'll just give you the background of this incursion. I'll read it if you're okay with this. Once there lived the most powerful wizard in all the land. Their magic was strong, unusual, and unthought of, but they wanted to do nothing more than discover and learn. Yet other wizards were jealous and convinced even the gods that this wizard was too dangerous to be left alive. So war ensued, all against one, and yet the wizard only grew stronger, not only in might but also in size, until they were as tall as a mountain. Finally, the godsmith Vestor forged a mighty lance. The demon enchantress Terka provided a deadly poison, and the hero chant pierced the giant's side. Crying out, the wizard fell with a mighty sound, leveling hills and forests under their enormous body. And there they lie, still a giant's carcass, not alive, but not truly dead. The legends claim that the giant has covered the sigil to eternal life and still wears it on their heart. And even more outrageous legends claim that the sigil and others might be recovered by the brave if only they dare enter the carcass. So this is what the incursion is about. You go into the giant's body, or the giant's corpse. It's not really a corpse, though. The giant is not really dead. It's just very deeply hurt. The giant is really a giant. It's huge. You see there is a wound in the giant's side, and all legends say that you can enter the body through this wound. There you are. The three mighty heroes set to enter this half-dead, half-alive body. Before you do, I would like to ask you a question, or two questions actually, and I would start with you, Basso. What would you like to change about your own body?
I think I'd like to be less ashamed of my face. My face is probably ugly and scarred. That's why I wear this mask.
Nice. And what part of your body do you like?
My hands and arms, because they are strong and good for slaughtering.
Very nice. I should make notes. Sorry. You'll hear me typing now. And the same questions go to Orlin. What part of your body would you change if you could?
The ravages of all of this drinking that I've done can be seen like in my nose and like up through my eyes, like bags under my eyes and like blasted capillaries down through my nose and stuff like this. And if I could somehow keep drinking, but erase the damage that it did to my once beautiful face, because with every blood vessel that bursts, that's, you know, slightly less likely that someone is going to find me, fair enough to throw a few coppers to bring to bed with them.
Okay, and what do you like about your body?
Oh, I can drink and eat and just, like I can throw down, half a dozen mugs of beer in a night and I will remain lithe and slender. Somehow it just never seems to, like I don't have that belly that so many of my other drinking friends do. I haven't fallen to flab the way that they have. Just something about the way that I'm built.
Cool. And Sybil, what would you change about your body if you could?
My hair. I have this like tightly curly, kinky hair that just sort of grows out from my head. And I've tried, and I want hair that's gonna flow and move with me as I move, and follow behind me, and then I could grow long. And I've done different things with it over the years to try to make it do that thing. I've straightened it. I've grown it out in dreadlocks. I've tied it up in beads, and it just never does that natural flow thing that I so badly have wanted it to do.
And what do you like about your body?
My legs, and that includes my injured left leg. I like the way, even though like it doesn't straighten properly, and causes me some pain when I move, and I limp. Like I like the rhythm of the movement it creates. I like the strength in my right leg. I like how I like how unique I feel when I move in that way.
Very cool, thank you. So, there we have it. Everything's set up. Let's go in. Yes. You stand in front of the giant body, mountain, whatever it is. So you draw closer to the wound. It's in the giant's side, right below the rib cage, or where your rib cage would be if you had these proportions. And as you draw closer, you can see and you can smell it. It doesn't smell like a corpse exactly, and I think Sybil knows how corpses smell very, very well, but you can smell kind of the blood wafting from this wound. The wound is crusted with old blood, and that's what you smell. It's not a pretty smell. I think Basso knows it as well from what is the place where butchers things called?
Butcher's yard.
Oh, okay. Abattoir, I thought. Or maybe, yeah, well, okay. Anyway, that's, and you can see that within the periphery of the wound, as you draw closer, it's the wrong window, there seem to be people who have settled there. can see they are carved into the flesh of the giant. There are caves, maybe, where people are living.
Well,
What do you do?
I think we ought to talk to them, because we need to know how to get in. Once you get me in there, I'll find you the heart. But we need to know whether they'll just let us walk in.
I'm far more concerned about their letting us leave. Perhaps they camp here waiting for someone to actually succeed in getting the sigil, and then they'll fall upon them when they come out.
I mean, either way, we should talk to them.
All right.
Find out what they want, why they're here. Maybe we could help. Maybe if I know anything, it's how to disguise the smell of rot.
You, whore, you are better at dealing with people. You speak to them.
And I kind of cock my head, raise an eyebrow, but then shrug, because he's not wrong. And I will just saunter up to whomever I see there. The first person that I encounter.
Yeah, there is an old person. Maybe you think it might be a woman that is sitting there, and I'm going with she here, she is kind of caressing a thing that it looks like a larvae or something like that. It's pretty gross. It's about yay thick. Oh, you can't see that, but maybe you can see it now. And it has these weird big eyes, and when it opens and closes them, there is a strange wet sound. It doesn't have a mouth, though. Or it doesn't seem to have a mouth. She's caressing it.
So I will just, I kind of stop a few feet away from her, and I say, "Hello, friend. My friends and I have come, perhaps foolhardily, to seek the sigil within the body of the giant."
Ah, another delver. Lovely to see you.
What is the treasure that you hold there? It looks like perhaps something that has come from within.
Oh, yes. This is a Charon larvae. They live on the giant, and we keep them. Have you ever heard of a Charon dreams, my pretty?
So I've ever heard of what?
A Charon dreams. It's, these larvae, they make stuff in their bodies. They feed on the giant, and then they make stuff of it, and you can put it on your lips and breathe it in, and then your life goes better. You look like you could use some of this, but you'll have to pay. Nothing free.
And I kind of shrug, like it's a tragedy for all of us. And I say, alas, if I could afford such wonderful delicacies, I would not be in the desperate position that you see me now.
Yes, I've heard of this. Most of the delvers that come to go inside the giant are desperate for anything.
Is there surely one of you, and I kind of, sort of cast my arm about at the whatever little hovels that they've kind of carved into the pores of the giant here. I say, surely one of you has taken up vocation as a guide.
A guide into the giant? No, my dear. We don't go into our god. We just venerate him from outside. And you can too. You can just stay here. If you join us, maybe we'll let you partake of the larvae.
And alas, I fear, while I'm sure that I would enjoy nothing more than to spend the rest of my days here, my friends, I kind of indicate behind me, they're impatient, and they compel me to proceed. What is there any danger associated with one of these? Perhaps when I'm inside, if I find one, I can bring it to you.
No. No. We are content to wait outside. Most delvers who go in don't come out anyway.
Yes, it is a risk that we understand and have accepted.
Very good. So then, mark your bodies and you may go in.
And I kind of like narrow my eyes and kind of turn my head in a quizzical look and say, "What sort of mark
Oh,
are we called upon to make?"
well, the giant is wounded, and there are marks you need to carry. So we will let you go inside to show your devotion to the giant. And she lifts her arms. You can see that she bears lots of scars, not only on her arms, but also on her legs. And you've been approaching the giant, by the way, and you've seen on one of these overgrown with vegetation arms, there are ravines and cracks, and the marks on her arms, they echo these, like they are trying to imitate the wounds.
And I sort of I walk over with my uneven gait and ask, and if we already come marked, our bodies bearing the sign of the giant, do we need we create more?
The more you create, the easier it will go for you. But show me your mark and let me see if I can accept it.
So I'm wearing these sort of like loose, kind of baggy, flowing dark pants, and I gingerly kind of lean over, and I roll up my pant leg, and you can see there's like it's mostly healed, but the scar is very apparent. There's like and I'm not quite sure what this would look like so bear with me. But I think I had a pretty serious leg break to the point that the bone sort of protruded out from like just below my knee, and it healed, but not well, which is why I still limp. And there's like a large mass of scar tissue around that, and some of the muscle is also a little underdeveloped, just because I haven't been able to fully make use of it.
Well, I would like for you to roll for this. I think I have to go into the rules here for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Rolling in trophy means if one of the things you're skilled in comes into play, you can roll one light die. If you want to risk your mind or your body, then you can roll a dark die as well. If you are willing to accept the devil's bargain, you can roll another white die. You can roll and reroll. You can reroll as long as you are. If you take another dark die. So if you take none and don't like the result of your roll, you can take a dark die and roll all of them again. And you can do that as long as the dark die isn't the highest.
And is 0 like in Blades? You roll 2 and take the lowest, or can you not roll 0?
It's just, yeah.
All right.
Yeah. You have to have something to roll
right.
with.
So is religion something that is one of my skills?
Yeah, or
Right.
symbols maybe. I think you can have a light die for symbols. Don't know if there's a devil's bargain. Maybe
Yeah.
if you are willing to, if you're willing to scar one of the others, even though they might not want to, then you would get another dark die.
I have plenty of scars of my own.
Devil's bargain is a dark die or a light die?
No, light die. Devil's bargain is a light die. You can have another light die, but you can just say you don't have to accept the devil's bargain.
I mean, I'm willing to accept it if the other party members are comfortable with that. If that's the kind of thing where like, if you're not willing to consent to me taking that kind of action, I don't want to push it on you. But if you're comfortable having that interaction, I'm good with accepting it and trying it.
If you come near me with a knife, I'll take your hand off.
This isn't in game. This is just the devil's bargain offer is just between the players.
Right. I just want to make sure all the players are okay with me accepting that devil's bargain. Yes. No.
I'm
in for an inch, in for a yard.
Great. I accept it.
Cool. So then you can roll 2 light dice.
2 light dice. Let's grab some dice here. Let's just start with this. White. Submit. And that's a 6.
Wow. Very good. You've done it. You, she will accept that the scar is a sign of your devotion to the giant, but she will insist that you will have to mark one of the others as well.
So I think I just say like very clearly, come if we want to enter, we must be marked.
And so I kind of step up to you and I'm like, and I turn to the woman and I say, what sort of mark is acceptable? What sort of mark will find favor with the giant?
Well, if you want to go in through the wound, you should bear a scar like the wound, shouldn't you? And she shows you her rib cage. She's pretty malnourished. You can see that. But she has a large, prominent, and badly healed scar on her rib cage where the giant has a wound of their own.
And I say, very well, but I don't trust you to hold the knife, my friend. And I turn to the butcher.
I think before he even gets a word out, I see him turning, and I just pull a knife and draw it like lightly but tightly across the back of his rib cage, and I say, butchers are too surgical.
The
wound would not be sufficient.
I howl, and just what are you? Oh, you maniac!
I cut a strip from my sleeve and press it up against the wound to staunch the bleeding.
Yes, surgical was the point.
The giant doesn't have a surgical wound, and neither does the woman.
That's true.
Our wounds are symbolic.
No, not really. There's a connection between you and the giant.
It has to be the right symbol, Orlin.
Well,
I think that Basso. Is it possible Basso already has a scar under his ribcage from his time in the gladiatorial arena?
Yeah, of course it is. You were a gladiator after all, and you're a worn-out gladiator. So was this
Yeah.
the wound that finished your career?
I think it's probably one that came close to puncturing a lung.
Mm. And that was your rival who put it there.
Indeed, that's why he will regret that victory. And so I think I will raise my robe, my tunic, and display this wound, and say to the old lady, "I've already been marked."
Very well. You might go in. And she gestures at the huge hollow in the giant side that you all can see. And while you're walking towards the entrance, you can also see that they have a sort of carved in the side of the entrance. They have carved a shrine. There, the wound is intersected by another minor injury. And in that shrine, you can see sort of this sigil. It's a magical sigil. You all know this. The person who knows The Undertaker, I think that Sybil probably would recognize this. This is a sort of the sigil. These sigils can be used as rituals once you have kind of integrated them into your body. This is the sigil of Black Bile, and it's a powerful sigil. It's far more powerful than rituals usually are. And these people around there are crowding around it with these weird larvae. They are cradling and sort of seem to be honoring it, revering it.
I want nothing to do with this. Let's just go round the shrine and get into the body.
Isn't this the power we came for? Maybe not the deepest riches, but we should take what we can get when we can get it before moving on.
Well, more fool you, Sybil.
Like, do I know how to incorporate it into my body?
Oh, sure. The only thing you don't know is probably how to get it, because these people, they don't look like they're going to just hand it over. But you know how to incorporate it into your body.
How many of them are there?
Oh, I don't think there are too many. There are, all in all, there are maybe 2 dozen, or maybe, sorry, 1 dozen. 2 half dozen doesn't make a lot of sense. But huddled around the sigil, there are maybe 4 of them. Several of them don't even look like they are really any kind of fighters. They're all pretty much malnourished, and they don't have weapons. But they all have a fanatical gleam in their eye.
Ah, I was about to say that Basso thinks he can take it.
Word would spread quickly, and I think that then our exit from the giant would be very difficult indeed.
But why would these fanatics give up this sigil voluntarily?
They wouldn't? What do we need the sigil for?
I'm with you, Orland.
There's far more power inside. That's why we're here. The fact that no one has taken it till now, when we have just walked up to it as we have, tells me it's not a thing of true value. However, I've had a thought, and I'm going to walk up to whoever the kind of least capable, kind of most out of it looking of those worshippers that actually has one of those larvae.
Yeah, okay, you find one. This is a man. He looks pretty much out of it. He leans against the living or unliving flesh of the giant creating the larva, and the larva is kind of looking at this meat with these weird eyes blinking, these wet sounds.
And I say to him, and I kind of look around at how the others are standing and kind of the look on their eyes, whatever, the way they're like slack jawed, you know, kind of the way that woman's like had that kind of weird grin and stuff. I kind of do my best to sort of to adopt their expression and their body language as I approach him, and I say, brother, I fear that you have learned all that you can learn.
Delver.
I am not just any delver.
No?
I reach out and I just kind of stroke the larvae gently that he's holding on to. And I say, I would seek to show these wondrous beings where they came from. I would bring it with me and then return it back here so that it can share its wisdom from inside the corpse with us.
Huh.
Sorry, the carcass. Well, retcon there. And I'm just kind of stroking the larvae reverently. And I say to him, may I take it with me? May I show it the wonders that can be had inside? You can see I've brought stout companions with me. They have agreed to protect me through to the very heart so that we can experience it together.
Well, I think that is a pretty compelling argument you're making there. I want you to roll for it, though.
I'm going to do that. All right. So what do we got here? Take a look at my sheet. I'm skilled in haggling, which is what I'm doing right here. I'm trying to get that away from him. So I've got one white die for that. What is my what's a devil's bargain that I might take?
The devil's bargain is that you might, these larvae, they have, wait, I've got to look up the word.
He's going to make me kiss the grub, isn't he?
Yes, he's going to make you kiss the grub.
All right.
That's totally cool. Yeah.
Okay. Whatever. Like I see them, they were like looking at them and everything. And so I'm stroking it, and it becomes clear that he is whatever reluctance he has. So I will kind of gently, lean down.
Sorry, have you rolled?
So the devil's bargain, I got to do it, whether like I got to do it before I roll.
Oh, okay.
So. Right? That I think the way Devil's Bargain works is like that's a thing that happens regardless of the outcome of your roll.
Yeah,
right?
but usually I've had it made that we roll before.
Oh, okay.
So
cool.
to see what happens in the whole, so we have a clear indication how the scene is going to go.
Yeah, cool. So let me do that then. I got 2 light dice here. Mm-hmm. I got a 2 and a 3. I'm going to risk my mind and body by adding another dark die to it.
That's a very good idea.
Yeah, and do this. I'm going to risk my mind and body by adding another dark die to it.
You can reroll all of them when you add a dark die. You don't have to just roll the dark die. You can reroll the other 2, the light dice as well. Because I see you haven't done that. No,
I did.
Oh, okay.
I highlighted them. I said reroll selected, and it came up. The 2 and the 3 were actually different dice last time.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, no, I rerolled and got a terrible roll. A terrible second roll is what happened there. So let me try one more time. Mm-hmm. That's much better. All right.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with that, and I think that means my dark die tops out because when they tie, you go with the dark die, right? Is that how that works? Or does the dark die have to be the highest?
I think it has to be the highest weight.
Equal.
If the highest If it's the highest, if the dark die is the highest die in your roll.
If the dark die and it rolled equal to or higher than your highest,
okay.
I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then that's a ruin roll, and your that's totally fitting. Your
Yeah, I feel
ruin
like
goes up by
I
1.
feel like that's entirely reasonable given what I'm
Yeah.
doing here. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. Very good. So you are caressing the larvae, and he will give it up and hold it out to you, actually. And the larvae, mostly it just feels like cool muscle flesh. Weirdly even, but on the other hand, maybe it feels like some sort of just a slab of flesh, like you would get like a piece that would muscle flesh you would get from a butcher maybe. But when you touch it and he gives it to you, you touch it not at the end where the eyes are, but at the other, there is some sort of strange goo that envelops your hand, and as you lift it to your face to maybe smell it or something like that, get a full face of that smell. It's at first you think ugh, but second it's quite pretty and quite beautiful. And the dreams part of this thing, and also the part of what the ruin means, is that you really, really like touching it. Everything you touch feels so intense. Your fingertips on this thing, there's amazing. And what do you feel when you touch your own flesh?
Oh, I definitely I think I get a what do you call that when like your senses get mixed up, like kinesthesia?
Synesthesia.
Synesthesia. Yes, thank you. Yeah, synesthesia. So like as I'm touching myself, instead of the sensation of touch, I'm hearing like song, like music, right? Because that's my whole. And I like as I kind of run my hands down my body that I really like, I'm hearing like again like my voice singing songs the way they're supposed to sound. But then when I run it up to my face, I get those dissonant notes of, you know, like it starts to get hoarse as I touch the, you know, my blasted nose and the bags under my eyes and stuff. But if I'm kind of just doing this, then I'm hearing this just like my voice singing in this perfect song.
Very nice. Very well. So you step into the cleft, the wound. It's, as I said, it's large. You don't have to duck or anything. It's narrow, though. You will probably, if you want to walk side by side. No, you didn't. You didn't try, Alan. You didn't try for the sigil. He just got. He has now the larvae. He can take that with him. Might be useful. Who knows? Well, as I said, the wound is large. You can walk side by side really without jostling each other, but it's pretty easy to walk in. Time and again, you have this wound. What you see if you go into it, this wound is healing slowly, very slowly. But there are parts that look like healed flesh, and you will have to carve your way into it a bit. Who's doing that?
That's not a problem. I know my way about bodies. We turn right and go uphill.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, you probably will follow the wound, though, to get farther in, because that's the easiest course.
Oh, yeah.
And
if you follow, I want to get under the ribs and then head uphill.
Yeah, there's actually a path carved into this body that you can follow a bit. That makes it a lot easier than just to hack yourself through the flesh. That would take weeks or months. But if you follow the path, you will, at one point, arrive in the pleural cavity in the lungs. I believe that's the perfect point to take a break. And I also want to say I forgot to explain the X card. I'm sorry for that. we will be playing, of course, with the X card. The X card means that at any time you feel uncomfortable or icked out, or just something is not really making you feel good or unsafe, or even if it's just not really your thing, then you can say X or make an X in the chat or make that kind of X or on the screen, which I probably won't see because I'm jumping windows pretty badly here, or put it in the chat. Jim, you would like to speak?
Sorry, that's a thing we can do to indicate that we want a X card, is we can do that raise our hand thing. That's a neat feature of Jitsi.
Yeah, I think it's really great. And if you do, then I might ask you what you want to have X'd out, because that's usually thing, but I won't ask you to justify it or why you want that X'd out. That isn't my business. We'll just see that the problematic content is left out, and then we continue with the game. We also, of course, will use the open table policy. That means if at any point you have to go, if it's even if it's an emergency, or even if you think, oh my God, horror games are horrible, I have to go, or even if you feel sick or tired or anything, just maybe give us a hint that you're going now for good, and then and we'll continue playing, and no hard feelings or anything. And now I've talked a lot, and now we're going to take a break, if that's okay with all of you. I think we have it 1/4 past the hour, so 10 minutes. Would that be okay for everyone?
That's fine.
Cool.
I'll set the video, the do not break Jitsi video running.
Yes, thank you, Alan. Hello. I don't know if Jim's back already. I see his room, but no Jim. Alan, did you say something?
No, I didn't. No, I'm just.
Okay.
Well, I don't. If I did, I didn't mean to.
Okay. I just thought you were, but maybe you were just talking to your coffee or tea.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a good listener. I mean, I have to say that I'd not having played, but having read the books, I kind of expected it to be less freeform. I think, but it's nice. I like it.
Oh wow, it's I don't know if that's free form. You just
Well, in the sense of because an incursion is so really quite tightly structured.
yeah. Well,
Because I suppose I was expecting to know when I'd got through one of the rings, and I think I have, but I'm not certain. And I think it's the old PBTA advice, isn't it? It's use but don't describe. So I think keep me guessing, Sabine. Keep me guessing.
I will. But these in this incursion, actually, the rings are pretty easy to tell when you've gone from one of them to the other. That was a bit harder for the players, I think. With the other incursion, the Writer's Retreat, there was no physical disparity between the two rings, and there is here, because you're totally right. You've just managed to go through the first ring.
So the pleural cavity is the second one.
Yes, the lungs are the second one. There are 5 because you're traversing the giant's body, and there is a pretty clear path to how you get to the heart, because you could go and hack yourself through the body, but that just would take months. And that would be pretty boring for everybody. Yeah, roll for hitting the giant's body. You can't miss it anyway, so you do 2 hit points of damage.
Yeah, I
feel like we'd run out of ruin very quickly.
Yes, probably. You'd run out of ruin before the giant ran out of hit points anyway.
But that's also, I think, a pretty powerful argument in some ways for the way the system works, right? That would drive you mad, hacking through the carcass of a giant. That's a good model for what would actually happen there.
Yeah, that actually is. You would probably, and the body keeps healing slowly.
I'm pretty confident there is a D&D module out there that does that very thing.
Might be, yes, actually. I think there is something where you go into a person's body. Hey, Jim, where are you?
Well, shall we pick up and have Jim slot in?
I think we'll wait until it's half past, and then we'll just see where this goes. Oh, maybe he gets separated from the group because he's still caressing the larvae and is trying to deal with the synesthesia, which is totally a thing. It's totally possible, and it's half past, and I'd say so. We go pushing on. Orlin was Jim's character, right? Yeah, Orlin is a bit out of it, I guess, just with playing around with his larvae. But the other 2 of you are sharp and alert, because you have not done this before. Yeah, he said ruin 3 already. Oh my god.
Well,
Okay.
Basso would quite like a quiet word with Sybil.
Go ahead.
Now look, Sybil, I saw that what you pulled back there with Orlan when you knifed him. Just be aware that if you come at me with a knife, there'll be trouble.
I'm going to do what I need to do to get us to the giant's heart. And it's not about my pride or your pride, or certainly not Orlan's pride. We're hacking through flesh and rot, and it might hurt a little bit. You can almost feel the pain that this carcass endured before it became what it is. And that's what we need to do to get to where we need to go. So don't tell me how to do my job here.
What is your job here, Sybil? Because if you think your job is to take a knife to me, we need to have a separate discussion now.
My job is to unlock the gates of this body. I did that for Orlan, and if I'll do it for you, or we'll leave you behind if that's what needs to happen.
Just watch yourself. Hey, Orlan, have you woken up yet?
Yeah, it sounds like I was having dreams from the. I was dreaming happily with my larva baby.
What's the pleural cavity look like?
Sabine, are you talking? You're muted if you are.
Yeah, I was describing the pleural cavity, and now I'm muted. And well, okay.
Sabine, can you move your camera down a bit, because we typically I only see you from the nose up, so it was.
It's true.
I didn't spot your mouth moving at all.
Oh, okay. I'll sit up straighter if that would help, because I cannot really move my camera around a lot, because then it will fall off, or you would just look at my chest, and that's, well, you wouldn't see my lips moving anyway. So the pleural cavity are always, while you're moving through the carcass, you will see where your feet, you're always walking in some sort of blood. It's not a huge bit of it, not an illusion or anything, but enough to keep your feet wet. Wasn't that bad when you were at the wound, because the blood there is dried and flaking and brown and not really noticeable. But as you enter the pleural cavity, you will see spots of bright oxygenated blood almost bubbling, and it smells, well, it still smells like blood. huge, empty, and it's echoing. You have to, you can see that in the distance, there is a pretty good way to get to the spine. And if you follow the spine, you will find the heart there. That's probably the best way for you to take. There is a wind in your face when you enter the lung. Stale air, it smells of keys and of something rotten. The underground, under the blood is spongy and uneven. And at times, when you are taking a step, you can feel something pop with a loud noise. Yeah, exactly like that, Alan. It's exactly like that. It's bubbles that are growing out from the flesh of the lung. These are called, they have a name. These are alveoli. Maybe you don't even. Oh, yeah, that's exactly what they are. And as you go on, the wind at your face is getting weaker. And as you're looking about, you can see in some of these sorry, I have to read this. And some of the pulmonary lobules, they are people in there, like they are grown almost inside into the walls of the lobes, like the lung has these valleys and hills that are gently sloping up and down. You have to do quite a bit of climbing, and sometimes you have these lobules where there are people in there. You can see them. They're not moving or anything, but they are in there.
Well, yeah, under the surface of the lungs, then. Would we have to cut them out?
If you want to, you can cut them out. The lungs, the pleural cavity is filled, not just with these alveoli at the bottom, but there are also, yeah, that's the way where I have to need. There are pulmonary lobules. That is the thing that is actually doing the breathing, and there are people grown in there. The pleural cavity is filled with those lobules because they are like look a bit like corals almost growing out there from the spine, or from the way where the lungs and the airways, the trachea, I think it's called, intercross with the spine. They are hanging in everywhere. You can't push through while you're making your way to the spine because the wound is deep. You can still follow it through the lung.
So can we get close to these people? Can we speak to them? Can we examine them?
You can. Sure, you can. They are the one you're closest to, sitting in the first one you come up to is half eaten into the body already, half digested. You probably can't talk to them, but the next one is still a separate person, and you can try to cut them out.
Yeah, definitely. Well, no, first find out if they're conscious and make any sense. How did this happen to you?
Slowly, as you talk to the person, the ingrown person, they kind of look up at the noise and look at you with a confused expression. They look almost like a monk or something, hermit maybe.
So does he say anything, or does she say anything? I need to work out whether they're worth talking to.
You don't know. You can, yeah. You see the lips moving inside the cocoon, I guess. Oh, and they're saying something.
Right. Well, but we can't hear what he's saying.
No.
Then I want to cut through the wall of this lobule.
Okay. You do that?
Yeah.
and there comes a bit of pleural fluid out, and the hermit blinks at you and says, "Hello, you're a delver."
Yes, I am. What do you do here?
I'm meditating on the secrets of magic.
So you just. But I see there, and I point back to the one that's been being digested by this. Will you stay here forever, or will you end up being digested by this thing?
I will stay here until I have found the true power that I need. One day I will know the secrets of magic, and then they will be sorry for laughing at me. They will be sorry for doing this to me.
So do you want to stay here?
Yes.
I turn to the other and say, this, he's mad.
And I smile, and I kind of like the corner of my mouth turns up in a little grin, and I kind of cock my head and I kneel down to look at him and I say, "You're a delver too, aren't you?"
I used to be, yes. Came here to find a way to finally pay them back. And I will. I will.
So why did you stop here? Why not continue further in to where true power lies?
I was betrayed. Stabbed in the back. They thought they could take the sigils for themselves. But and then I was tired and I sat down to rest, and then it was whispering to me, "The giant is talking to me."
And I reach out and I put a hand on his shoulder and I say, "The good news, my friend, is that they failed. No one has yet emerged with the sigils from the giant's heart."
And they won't. They won't.
So what? We would continue on. But in your time here, what secrets have you learned?
I've learned to predict the breath of the giant. And then he smiles at you, and it's a really unpleasant smile. And he says, "Hold on." And he looks up, and at that point you realize that the wind that was pushing you against you, has stopped. And then there's suddenly an intake of air that's coming from your back, and it's like a storm, like the harshest wind you've ever known. And there is stuff in there that's flying inside when the giant takes another breath. There are things pulled into the pleural cavity. You see a songbird, and you see a clot of blood and hair, and pretty gross. And you will be pushed in farther into the pleural cavity, but without any control, unless you can keep on your feet in some way.
I want to drive my weapons into one of the lobules to anchor myself.
Very good. And you can probably use skilled in fighting for your roll.
Fine, and I'll accept the ruin ruin dice.
Okay.
Yeah.
So roll.
So I'll roll the white one and the purple one.
Yes.
And that comes up as a 5.
Oh, that's nice. Okay. So you pushed in your weapon. What kind of weapon is that?
I think probably it's 2 short swords stabbed down into the body of into the flesh of the giant.
Very nice. Okay. I think you keep hold of your position, but probably the lose sight of the other two. Well, we'll see how that goes. So, Orlin, how are you doing?
Oof. When he says that he has, he's learned to identify when they breathe and then grins. I think that is when I'm just gonna grab him, like hug onto him tight. On the assumption that he somehow knows, like that, like he said he knows. I'm assuming he also knows how to like not go anywhere. Or if we go for a ride, we're going for a ride together. I want him with me wherever we land.
Very good. So the devil's bargain would be I don't think you have something that would be useful here, right? Maybe body language. I don't know.
I don't think I have any skills that apply to this particularly. No, I don't think so.
Devil's bargain is simply that you would have to let go of your larvae.
Of my larva, yeah, which I will. I will like I'm holding it, and I just kind of just sort of drop it unceremoniously to the side and clutch onto him. So I've got one white die. I'll start with one white die,
Okay.
Unless I am just inherently, as a result of the situation, risking my mind and body.
No, you can just.
Okay, let me start with that one white die and see what I get. So I'm going to risk getting injured here.
Good idea.
Wow. With that terrible roll.
Okay.
Okay. 4-5 is a mixed result, right?
It's a mixed result, yes. So
I have to take the 4 anyways because it's my high die. So yeah. All right.
Yeah, you're getting a point of ruin again, and you are going to be driven away by the wind from the other two. But good news, you have this hermit in your arms, but he's fighting you. He's scratching and biting and crying. You can't hear him over the wind, but you probably assume because his mouth is open. Well, the thing is, what goes more or less well for you is that you survive this tumble. The hermit doesn't. You have the hermit, he's weakened. His body isn't used to any kind of strenuous activities. His muscles are atrophied, and his heart will just give out as he's tumbling. And now you have this corpse on your hands, or you're in the middle of another corpse. Yeah, good thing you haven't. And also, sorry, I have to scroll around a lot today. But you still can hear as you're tumbling, you can hear a heartbeat, and it's goes boom, 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 boom. And you're pretty sure it's not your heart. And even after the hermit has died, you can still hear this boom, 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 boom. It's not your heart. Whose heart is that?
Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah, sure.
Whose heart is it? Oh my gosh. Wow. Oh, it's it's the heart. It's definitely the heart of whoever betrayed him.
I'll let you think on that and come back to you after I've asked Sybil how it's going to go with her.
So I think what I do is I kind of let the wind take me. But what I'm kind of trying to do is like dance with it, like feel its pressure against my body, and so like control a little bit okay, it's pushing me here, I'm going to go with it there. Oh wait, it's trying to shove me against the wall. And I think as Orlin is being blown away, I'm going to try to sort of keep follow the wind and stick with it so that we don't separate.
Okay. I think you would need you would use performance, I guess,
I
because you
think
were a
so.
dancer. Yeah.
I think
Okay.
so.
I think that's fair.
And I'm definitely willing to sort of risk my mind and body here.
Take a dark die as well.
Okay. And that is a 4 on the dark die.
Okay, so it's kind of a mixed success, which means that you mostly keep your footing. You lose sight a bit of Orlin and of Basso, but good news is that you found the larvae.
Oh, that's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
And Orlin as well. Yeah.
No, you haven't found Orlin. That was a mixed success.
Okay.
Also, your ruin goes up, I think.
Yes, my
because
ruin goes up.
That was the highest die, and that means that this is very strange, because when you sit up and look at the larvae, you can hear the breath in your own lungs come wheezing out and in there. It's kind of, it doesn't feel weird. You can breathe fine, but you make these noises, and it almost feels like there's a word that wants to creep out of your lungs. So, who do you like least in the party? I think that would be Basso.
Yes,
right?
it is Basso. Basso has not shown a willingness to do what it takes to suffer what needs to be suffered.
What is the word? Basso, what's the word that's trying to creep out of Sybil's mouth?
Death.
Death. Yes. Okay, so that you're kind of like death. It's really creepy. Okay, so there you are. There is the oh, Jim. I had an open question with you. The heartbeat. Ba-bum, 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 ba-bum. Who's it? Tell me.
Oh, whose heartbeat do I hear? You know what? I think that it is most interesting if it is clearly one of my companion's heartbeats that I can now hear.
Yeah.
I think
fine.
it's probably and I think it's probably Sybil.
Okay.
And I hear it like it increases in pace as she's, dancing on the wind and stuff like this, and then I hear it slow and everything, and I can hear it kind of just in the background.
Yeah.
And like, I think it's going to be, if I get a little poetic license, like, it's going to become clear to me as I get close to her that it's very clearly her heart that I'm hearing. Because like when I turn away from her, it gets fainter. I turn towards her, I can hear it a little more.
It's totally fine. Okay. So I think you have been separated now. You are standing all on your own. It's pretty dark, but you can find your lamps or torches or whatever you still have, because they will still be here. They haven't been blown out. They have been blown around. And as you close up to your nearest source of light, you can feel that the flesh is trying to retreat from it. Can't, because it's there, but it's like it's trying,
I think Basso is feeling actually more comfortable on his own. because these two are flaky individuals. And so Basso is simply going to follow the path.
Okay, so you
It's
are
on a
going.
mission.
As Basso, as you are going up, you can see these hermits. As you come closer in one of these coral-like lobules, there is a hermit, and they have on them one of these sigils. You can see it through glowing slightly through the flesh that encloses them.
Oh, no brainer. Slice through the lobule, kill the creature, the man inside, take the sigil.
Cool. So the sigil is the sigil of breath, actually. And what do you do with it? You have it. That was easy, weirdly enough.
What does it look like? What is it? It's a glowing object.
It's no. It was engraved into the hermit's flesh, or not. It's actually engraved. It was like a patch or something. You really had to pull it off the skin.
Oh, that's
like
not a problem. I just take the skin off. I mean, I flay animals for a living, so just take the flesh.
Give me a roll for that. You're a butcher. You can do this.
Yeah, I'll start.
It's totally easy.
So I'll start with just the one, I think.
Yes.
Roll selected. Hang on, missed it. There we go. Oh dear, that's a 2. Let's go again with the ruin dice, shall we?
Good idea.
Oh, that's a 6 on the white dice.
Oh, very nice. So it comes off very easily, actually. You have it. What do you do with it? You put it on?
So, yeah, does it look as though, yeah, I suppose it would attach, wouldn't it?
It would attach, yes. It's a sigil of breath, if that helps you.
So, yes, I think that given that we're in search of the sigil of eternal youth, sigils are a good thing in Basso's mind. He rather wishes that we'd slaughtered those cultists back at the way in and taken the sigil they were worshipping. But that ship has sailed. So yes, he will. He'll kind of stick this on his forearm because he's proud of his forearms, and big muscular forearms, and see if it will. Does he need to bind it on?
Oh no, it will bind itself onto your forearm, and you will gain the knowledge of the sigil. You can put it into your rituals, which you don't have, or I will put it in because it's easier. As that was sigil of breath. Go away. No. There it is, and your ruin goes up by 1, of course, because you have now let more of the giant into your body. And you feel it, right? You feel like if you're breathing, like your breast expands and you can feel your muscles swell and grow. And
oh, I think this is, I beat my chest and cry out. I am power!
Yes, and your forearms and hands, they really grow massive. They're really big, and your shoulders. Actually, if the other two see you again, that looks quite a bit deformed. And you just burst out of you. If you have any, if you wear any armor, you will kind of burst out of them.
Yeah, I think that the chain mail that I was wearing, the shirt, is bursting at the seams.
Yes, it's really, you have to take it off. It can't handle you. But
I don't need it anymore.
No, you don't. You are really, really big now. Well, you have all retrieved, I think, your lights. Yes, swole, that's exactly. And you will meet again. I think you can hear the weird wheezing on Sybil's breath, and you can also see those swollen, enlarged muscles of Bassos and the sigil that he wears on one of his arms that he has conquered. And you will also, of course, see the larvae that Sybil has, unless you take any measures to.
You found my larvae. I hold up my hands to take it back.
Yes. Yes. And I'm sort of petting the larvae, and I say, let me hold it for a while longer. Death. Death.
Well, since you insist, I will defer. And I kind of like raise an eyebrow to Basso, you know, kind of like turn my back on you, and I'm like, you know, like doing one of these like, what's with her?
Mm-hmm. Sabine, can you just remind me what the woman at the beginning said about the larvae?
She said they were producing something from the flesh that they were consuming that would give you pretty dreams.
Got it.
Okay, so now you have traversed the pleural cavity and you are standing next to the giant's vertebrae, the giant spine. The vertebrae are huge. The blood here that you're walking through is a deep dark red and it stains everything that touches it. It's sticky and it clings to body parts. Some of those vertebrae, some of those ribs that you can see coming out of the spine, they are fractured and they have wicked points.
Do we need to climb these ribs? Or can we just stick to the vertebrae?
You can just stick to the vertebrae. You don't have to climb the ribs. You can just stick to the vertebrae and follow them until they will lead you to the aorta sooner or later. You will find that, and then you will probably have to go through the aorta to get to the heart. But we're not there yet. But what you see here are now the larvae. They are a youthful state of some kind of moth or something. One of you will know this. What you can see here, though, are real corpse maggots. They are longer than the larvae. They're pale. Some of them, most of them are. Some are darker. They are flesh colored, actually. So some of them are pale flesh, others are dark brown flesh, and they crawl over and under those vertebrae. You will have to face them or meet them if you want to, follow the path to the heart. And they seem to moan or something.
Do they look
and I
dangerous?
think we will take another break. They're not small. They might be dangerous. But I think it's time for another break. Let's just do 6 minutes until 10 past the hour, and then we'll meet again. Okay? Cool. Hello again.
Hi
Everybody
there.
seems to be back. Except Jim.
Hello.
Well.
Time flows differently in New York.
Yeah, I guess.
Having recently moved from there, I can attest.
So where are you, Jesse?
Maryland now.
Okay.
A few hours down the U.S. East Coast from
Mhm.
New York.
Cool. Because I've got some lag with you because you're talking. I can see that you're talking, and then after a while of your lips moving, then I will have your voice.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's not your fault.
No, I had the
Internet's
same
weird.
problem with Lowell last week, where I knew he was talking, but then his voice appeared. So yeah, I think I mean Jitsi, I don't think has the same kind of bandwidth muscle as Google Hangouts had. So I think there's I think we're struggling down narrow tubes at some point.
Yeah, I know I had lag with Alan. Probably because I was looking for it. Well, it's okay. I had this once when I was watching some TV thing on streaming, and that was really distracting because they were talking and looking intently at each other, and then sometimes then there was the voice coming in, and then somebody else was already talking, and that was like, oh, what's going on? Why are they this way? Okay. I think we should wait maybe 2 minutes more, and then we'll start playing if Jim's there or not.
Yeah, I think last time he got called to do something quick in the house, and so maybe the same thing happened again.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, there he is.
I'm here. Just got back.
Great.
Cool.
We were getting worried about you.
Yeah. We were worried that you were eaten by a New York taxi driver or something like that.
No. I don't live in the city, so.
Okay, cool. Okay, so Alan, you were asking about these maggots, if they were dangerous, and they are not very small. They're a lot bigger than the larvae. I mean, they're not giant compared to you, but their body size length is about the size of your bodies. And when one of them rears up next to you, you can see they have in their mouth, they have this sort of teeth. They look like broken bones or bone shards growing out of their flesh. And they are, they look hungry somehow. Also, they are talking. Each of them is talking, not loudly, not very, but you can hear their words. Like one of them closest to you with a really nice teak shade of skin is talking about her hair, and it's pretty clear from the voice that she's female, and she's like, my beautiful hair, and now it's gone, but I will get it back. I have to get it back. Once I have it back, I will be the most beautiful in all the land, and they will all worship me.
I turn to the others and I say, I think we found some more delvers. What do you think?
I think that perhaps if we go retrieve the corpse of the hermit and feed it to one of these things, we might learn what he learned.
Interesting. Are you doing that?
Can we find that corpse?
Yeah, sure. It's
Yes,
close.
it landed right next to me. I can show you where it landed.
It's not far.
Yeah, and I'll clamber back down and point Basso at the broken, wrecked corpse of the hermit, and I'll say, if nothing else, perhaps you can chop him up and we can throw his limbs to these things to distract them.
Well, certainly we'll carry him back up because he'll just go over one shoulder now, won't he?
Yeah, he's
Since
not heavy.
it's the size of a small coffee table, my shoulder.
Yeah, true. You can easily carry him up there. The tea-colored maggot has gone, but there are others. One of them has actually a gladiator's tattoo. What does that look like, Basso?
Oh, it's the sign of Demetrius, the gladiator trainer, who trained me.
Oh, and did he train your rival as well?
I think he probably did.
Oh, nice.
I mean,
yeah, he's speaking too. He's like, they cheated. They cheated me. They cheated me out of my victory. It was all set up. Shouldn't have drunk so much, but there was something in that wine.
I don't like this at all. I think that I think Orland's idea of dismembering the meditator and seeing if we can throw bits of him away from the path so the path opens is a good one.
That's probably a good idea because that maggot is coming towards you, and some of the others are too, whispering and crying, almost pleading for flesh, for...
Okay, so is this about butchery?
Yeah, I think so.
Unless anyone got a better idea.
All this is butchery. This isn't how the human dead should be cared for. But I don't interfere.
Afraid for a moment you were going to say that you weren't prepared to do this, Sybil.
I'll do what we must, but I don't have to like it.
I will offer you the devil's bargain that if you chop off a bit of your own flesh while doing this, because you're not used to your arms being this swollen with muscle and skin and stuff like that, if you're willing to do that, get another light die.
No, I think we'll try the single light die to begin. Thank you very much.
Okay. Very good.
Basso's in favor of butchery, not being butchered.
Yeah, office of the table, though.
That is a 1.
Oh, wow.
That is a 1.
You should have really taken that devil's bargain.
We'll throw a ruin dice in to re-roll both the dice. That one and that. Oh, hang on. I can't seem to keep them. Oh, there they are. I can't keep them highlighted. Hang on.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think when I'm playing with just like fiddling with the dice on that sometimes messes with highlighting. I'll stop.
Okay. Okay. Reroll selected. That is a 5, but sadly the ruin dice is the higher of them, so my ruin goes to 4.
Very good.
And that is a partial success.
Okay, so what's happening here is that, yes, you're an expert, you butcher the corpse. It's not that hard. Muscles have atrophied, as I said. It's quite easy, actually, with your newly found muscles and your sharp little butcher's hatchet or whatever you have. And you can butcher it and throw it to the maggot that's closest to you. Unfortunately, the whole butchering business kind of seems to be attracting those maggots, so they come closer to you. Those that have ignored you before are alert now. And they're not very fast, but they're creeping in your direction. There are lots of them. And they're all moaning and telling you how they want revenge, how they want to be reinstated, how somebody did them injustice, and things like that. And Sorry.
So that's the complication. Then I tell you how we succeed anyway. Is that right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Because I have a thought.
And yes. Okay. Tell me your thought,
Well,
and then I'll tell you your condition.
my thought is that one of the skills I have is calming animals, because you need to calm them if you're going to slaughter them.
Mm.
So I think that the way I calm animals at the abattoir is I hum to them. And so as we pick our way among these vicious looking beasts, I'm humming to calm them. How does that sound?
That sounds pretty neat. Yeah. And while you are humming this, you notice that there is something wet sliding from your ear, probably because you hear this humming in your head, like it's vibrating in your head. There's this one note that every time you hum it, you feel it down to your toes. It's quite reassuring, and there is a little warm liquid running from your ears, but strangely enough, it feels comforting instead of disturbing. Why is that? Why does the feeling of your own blood running down your body comfort you?
It reminds me of my victories.
Of course it does. Yeah, so you can see that Basso is starting to bleed from his ears every once in a while, and he's humming this weird noise and seems to almost resonate with the vertebrae that are there, and the maggots also seem to like it, though. They sway a little to the song that you are humming, but they are also at the other two, they are still gaping and hissing, and some of them, and their mouths are truly awful with those broken bones that stick out of their palates. I think I want you to roll for ruin now, because you are in a small kind of path next to a vertebrae. There's blood. There's on your feet, and these maggots, they are people. You can see that they are or were people like you. So please go and roll for ruin for me, please.
I rolled a 4.
So, and you were at 3, right? So yeah, you're gaining 1 point of ruin.
Hooray.
Yeah. And
can I describe what
this
I think
weird
happens, or?
Yes, sure. Sure, go ahead.
I think it's these various maggots like screaming for revenge. Like just focus my mind so intently